Hey everybody, welcome back to Works on My Machine. For this week, I wanted to share something a little different than the past few weeks, where if any of you have spent any time in the Sublayer Discord, you may have noticed that the GitHub notifications channel can kind of go wild at times and definitely overnight while everybody is mostly sleeping. And I wanted to share something we've got set up here where we actually have AI writing code for us while we sleep so that we wake up to PRs and a little bit of what we've learned by doing that for a while now. So what we've got here is the Sublayer Actions repository, and actions in the Sublayer framework you can kind of think of like tool calls. But because of the way that we built everything in the framework, each component is designed to be able to be generated by AI. And the way actions are set up, the idea behind them is that you use them to make external API calls to get information to put into a generator, which is then sent to an LLM, or use the object that you get back from a generator and do something with it, like send it to store it in a file or send it off to another API call through an action. And the way that we found really easy to work like this is to break everything down into small pieces, which lends itself well to getting AI to generate that. And so here is an example of what an action might look like. This one is for Jira to get issues in a project. You initialize it with some values, you've got some environment variables, and then you fetch the issues and you return the issues. It's as simple as that. You may have noticed it from something like this from one of the past videos. But what we've realized is that we can send all these examples to an LLM and say, what else is missing? Come up with some ideas of things that might be useful in this collection, and let's generate one of those. And so that's what we have happening at, I think, 4 or 5 a.m. We send a message out to GPT-4o, Gemini, and Claude, and we take the entire contents of the Sublayer repository, the entire contents of this actions repository, which is a bunch of, essentially tool calls, get the context of all the code bases, send them to those LLMs and say, here are all these actions, what else might be useful? Give me 10 ideas. We sort them by the score that the LLM gives it, pick one, and then have that AI generate that action for us and make a PR. And that's what all this boilerplate down here is. But so if we say we go back here and we look at the pull requests, and so, today's that happened, we've got OpenAI generated a Salesforce create lead action. Claude had the idea of a Google Calendar create event action. Gemini came up with the idea of execute a shell command. And so we can go and look at these. They're all set up to have, a descriptive comment at the top, use a similar format. Seems reasonable enough. Claude, Google Calendar create event. Very similar. It's got the call method. It's got some private methods here. Gemini went with executing a shell command, and it used open3, gives us the standard out, standard error, and the status. And so, wake up to that, and you've got 3 things to review that you didn't have in the repository before. We've expanded this actually to, we've got the daily action suggestion. We have it so you can generate a specific action. So let's actually go ahead and generate a specific action. Let's do execute command line command action, and a sublayer action that executes a given command line command, returning standard out, standard error, and status. And let's go ahead and run this workflow while I'm talking. We also, when you merge a PR, when you've reviewed it and merged it, notify Discord. Also make a PR to our docs to notify our docs that we've got a new action. And then also when we merge a PR, kind of go through that same ideation and have all three LLMs go through that same ideation, but this time use the PR that we merged. So say we were to merge a Jira PR, each model would generate ideas for what else is missing from the Jira activity that we might want to do. So that noise, if you can hear it coming through the video, is these PRs coming in. And so let's see what Claude, OpenAI, and Gemini have created for the execute command line command action. So, okay, very similar. We've got, this one, execute with timeout. Again, used Open3, but gave it a timeout. Each model kind of has their own quirks and unique ways of doing this, which I've found interesting. But the one thing you might notice from this video is that there are 378 open PRs. One of the things we noticed really quickly as we were, every morning we get 3 PRs. Every time we merge, we get 3 more PRs that are all, pretty reasonable. The actual review, the weight of all of that review ended up becoming too much, and which is part of the inspiration for augmentations and the semantic lint rules. You may notice here that augmentations is commenting on these PRs. We have a semantic lint rule for actually taking these, when you see a new PR, take these and create some instructions for how to test this, because just the idea of, just the burden of, okay, what's an example for me to verify that this works was extra time. So how much can we get AI to move us down the line of PR review? Because it was clear very quickly, as soon as we get AI to start working while we're sleeping, we're going to be overwhelmed with tasks to solve when we wake up, like this 378 PRs. And in extrapolating from this, it makes me think, like, I wonder if our tools that are set up for teams of people working together at human scale are really ready for AI running for the entire time we're sleeping, and backing up at the place where we need humans to review the output. I think it's a good question, and something that we've been running into and asking ourselves about a lot, and what would help, kind of where augmentations came from. But I'm sure there are other options. I've talked to a handful of people, and the suggestion was like, YOLO, just merge it, which as a library maintainer, I don't know if that's the right answer for me, but it might be the right answer for some people. But this is all out there. You can check it out at github.com/subleyerapp/subleyer_actions. All of the code is also in the .github/workflows folder if you'd like to see some of the workflows we have set up. And yeah, if you thought this was interesting or had any thoughts, comments, ways you might use it, I'd be very interested to hear. And if you've made it this far, thank you, and please subscribe at worksonmymachine.substack.com. Thank you.